What's up, guys? Welcome to Voicey here. This is your proud Wii U owner of a host, Captain Zach, and today's subreddit is r/IDontWorkHereLady with a little bonus from r/Today I Fudged Up. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode. This story's called "It's Not My Job to Haul Scrap Metal at Night, but I Did It Anyway." It was around 9 p.m. I had just sat down on the couch with a cup of tea after an hour-long struggle to get my 6-year-old boy to bed. All of a sudden, there is a tremendous noise out of the front of my house. It sounds like the world is ending, a metal apocalypse. I leap up and run to the front window and squint out into the darkness of my usually quiet blue-collar suburban street. There, across the road, is my neighbor, Johnny. He is dragging 12-foot-long metal beams along the sidewalk, resting one end on the top edge of a big cage trailer, then trying to shove slide the beams down and inside. The noise is unbelievable. I watch for a couple of minutes in disbelief and growing anger as I notice about 50 more metal beams stacked behind him. This is not going to finish anytime soon. Then, to top it off, my son wakes up and starts making a fuss. I grab a piece of paper and writes an angry message at Johnny in big block letters. My neighbor Johnny is profoundly deaf, hence the written note. He has lived in that house for all of his 50 years, and alone since his mother died a decade ago. He hasn't done so well by himself, I think. His house has fallen into disrepair, and he has hoarded so much scrap metal it has filled his property and flowed over the outside of his wall, encroaching on the sidewalk. I know the mess drives other neighbors crazy, but I don't particularly care. Makes me feel less guilty about not mowing my lawn as often as I should. Apart from the eyesore, he's never bothered me in any way. I've barely had anything to do with him at all over the years, to be honest. At 9 p.m. last night, however, I was spitting mad. Another huge boom echoes outside. Fantasies of physical violence flash through my mind. The blood rage takes me. I grab my angry note, put on my slippers, and storm out the door in my pajamas, straight over to him. I am a tall, heavy-built, pretty mean-looking guy. Johnny is about 5'5" and looks like a shrunken version of Zach Galifianakis. My appearance startles him, and he looks up at me with a worried face, still holding one end of a metal beam, sweat running down his cheeks. I'm about to unleash on him. I look down at this small, hairy, deaf hobbit man in front of me. I look back across the street at my son watching us from behind the screen door. I look at the angry note in my hand. My anger evaporates and is replaced by something else. I feel ashamed. I consider how he's been deaf since birth and may not even realize how noisy he's being, and I feel even more ashamed. I shove the note in my pocket before he sees it. I point to my chest, then do a weightlifting motion with my hands. His face brightens, and he nods excitedly. I walk over and grab one end of a beam. He grabs the other. I start helping him haul these 90-pound metal beams into his trailer. After 20 minutes, I'm breathing hard, and we finally get to the last one. I feel him squeeze my arm. He's smiling up at me and mouths, "Thank you," the only word we exchanged the whole time. I nod and go home. A couple minutes later, I'm in the bathroom, washing the dirt and sweat away, and my son comes in. He's angry and confused, like a disappointed mob that didn't get to watch the hanging they were promised. "Why didn't you shout at him, Daddy? You should have taught him a lesson. He's an idiot." Idiots being the strongest word in my son's vocabulary. I sit him down on the couch and put my arm around him, cuddle up. I talk to him about the different ways I could have handled that situation, and about neighbors and helping and being kind, and about how you meet all types of people in your life, and the story of the scar by my eye, and how much I regret the times I've been aggressive in my life. He's silent afterwards and seems to be deep in thought as I carry him back to bed. I drove past Johnny today and he waved and did a bicep flex at me. Like, "Hey, aren't we the two metal hauling muscle men of the street?" I couldn't help but chuckle. Well, that was wholesome. And I really appreciate how the Redditor here, he really took the opportunity to teach his son a lesson about not immediately resorting to violence. and how helping someone out can really benefit both of you guys, because the guy wanted the stuff in the trailer and he wanted him to shut the hell up. This story's called, I almost got in trouble with a manager I've never worked under. First post here, I was directed here after telling a friend about this. So, a few months ago, I stopped working at a large chain retail or grocery store. I had worked there for around 2 years. They don't necessarily have a set uniform. Each department wears something slightly different but still with the store logo. Sometimes if you're just filling in or are a new starter or temp without a uniform, you can just wear smart clothes, but still with the name tag. Cut to earlier today. I had just been to an interview, so I was wearing somewhat smart clothing, blouse and black trousers, and had popped into said store for some groceries on my way home. I'm only planning on getting a few things so I don't take a basket. I'm a bit of a neat freak when it comes to stores, so as I was looking for products, I'd also straighten the shelves a little. You can't tell me nobody else does this. Suddenly, a middle-aged woman approached me and asked me where she could find hemp milk. Oh, sorry, I don't work here, but I believe it's in aisle 24 or 26? Already annoyed, she says, "Listen, I've had a busy day and I don't have time for your games. I can see you straightening shelves. You work here. Now, take me to the hemp milk. It's for my daughter's husband. He's got a milk allergy and I just want some hemp milk." I understand, but I don't work here. Stop messing with me, you fat cow. I've seen you working here. I just witnessed you straightening the shelves. I told you I have had a busy day. Now take me to the milk so I can go home. I honestly don't know where it would be. I'm sorry, but I need to get home myself. I move around her to carry on with my day, but as I do so, a manager I don't recognize walks down the aisle. The lady screams at him about me not helping her. I turn to him to explain that I don't work here, but before I can say anything, she's shouting and pointing at me. And there are customers around us watching what's going on. The manager is obviously new to the store and is likely embarrassed at the other customers looking at us, so asks the lady and I if we could come to the back of the store. This is normal. There's a couple of security rooms at the rear of the store for interviewing irate customers and staff that had broken rules, lost money, etc. I try to explain through her shouting that I don't work there, but I follow along anyway. The manager asks the lady to wait in one room whilst he opens the one next to it and waves me inside. Before I can speak, he starts saying that as a new starter, I should be trying to make a good impression on the company, and that I can expect to be fired for ignoring and being rude to a customer like that. Before I entered, one of the supervisors I used to know well comes into the hallway the rooms are on. It connects to the shop floor to the colleague toilets, and sees me. He immediately starts chatting, asking how I am, etc. He then realizes I'm going into a security room and questions it. I explain that a customer thinks I'm being a rude employee and that I haven't been able to get a word in edgewise to explain to this manager that I don't work here. The old supervisor immediately starts laughing at the predicament, saying that I left months ago, and the manager, still holding the door, flushes bright red with embarrassment. He starts apologizing profusely to me, stating that he's new here and hasn't had a chance to meet the colleagues properly. He even offers me vouchers. Luckily, I'm in pretty good spirits and laugh it off. Poor guy seemed stressed beyond belief. I left to go to the shop floor as he went in to speak to the customer. So I don't know how she took the news, but hopefully he came out alive. Isn't it a fantastic thing when you can just laugh something off? Because, I said again. I say that a lot, and you guys point that out in the comments, and now I'm self-conscious. This story's called, Today I Fudged Up by Playing Witcher Without Considering All of the Ramifications of My Technologically Rich Lifestyle. Literally today. Last night, I hooked the desktop computer to the audio system and played an hour of The Witcher 3 in glorious immersive surround sound. Since playing Witcher is the only thing I physically use the desktop server for anymore, I always leave the game running, paused, as I go about my day, or days, or weeks. When I want to play, I stream the game to the laptop or the TV. The sound comes out of the laptop or TV. Everything works like it should. This morning, I played a bit more Witcher. streamed to the laptop, then left Geralt in a busy Novigrad street when I left for the day. Steam says I have played the game for 4,658 hours, but only around 10% of that is playtime. 30% is me hiking Geralt to a mountain stream so I can listen to the ambient music and the sound of water while I work. And the remaining 60% is me forgetting to pause the game when I am not playing, which is what happened today. Which was fine until I VPN'd into the laptop to grab a file this morning. The connection was choppy, so I killed the stream, got what I needed, and logged out. Not a care in the world. When I got home this afternoon, the neighbors, really nice people, never had any hassles with them, were waiting out in front of the house. They did not look happy. When I asked what was up, it took them a while to find the words. "We don't want you to be embarrassed, but it is not acceptable for you to leave adult video running on the computer where our children can hear it." He then launched into a mini lecture about the things he, as a parent, must do to protect his children. When I could get a word in, it was, "What?" They had been having breakfast with their 2 young kids in the nook right across from my office, when all of a sudden, some very loud adult video sounds start coming from my office. "Oh! Hey! Wow! Ah! Ah! Wah-ha-ha!" I'll spend the rest of my life pondering how my neighbors could hear those sounds and think, sex. As they were telling me this, I started hearing the noises they were talking about. Sure enough, there were weird, gaspy, grunty noises coming out of the office, and it all clicked at once. This morning, I played Witcher, streamed to the laptop. A couple of hours later, I VPN'd into the laptop, terminating the stream, which bounced the game back to the desktop, which I had just upgraded with a very loud immersive audio system, which rendered every little gasp and shriek and scream from the game in glorious 7.1 surround sound, as every NPC on that crowded Novigrad street bumped into Geralt and recoiled in fear or disgust. In the game, regular folk are scared of witchers or think witchers are freaks. The neighbors interpreted those sounds as adult video sounds. They are nice people, understandably concerned for their kids' welfare, and despite being upset, they had been worried about embarrassing me. Once they learned what was really going on, they got so embarrassed that I suspect I won't see them for a while. You know what, man? You do you. The Witcher 3 is a fantastic game that I unfortunately never got through, because I don't know, I got distracted by other stuff, but fantastic game. It's dirt cheap now. It looks gorgeous. There's tons and tons of stuff to do. The content in that game is insane. Plus, how could you not love the game when it's got Yennefer and that beginning cutscene, if you know what I mean? This story's called "Why Do People Think I Work Here?" A Costco story. So, this happened the other day while I was doing some shopping at Costco. Background: I am a graduate student, currently working part-time at a family-run asbestos removal company while I get my graduate work done. One of the tasks that I occasionally have to run is to run to Costco for office supplies like paper towels, waters, the occasional snack purchase, and weirdly enough, baby wipes. I know, why baby wipes? The thing is, baby wipes are very useful in construction for not only a quick and easy hand wipe or emergency toilet paper, but to wipe the sweat off of face masks and eyewear. In the asbestos removal industry, we have to wear masks to protect us from the asbestos and particles in the air made by disturbing the material. The thing is, constantly sweating causes our mask to irritate our skin since it rubs, and so we found that baby wipes can disinfect the masks as well as cause no irritation compared to other disinfecting wipes. Now for the story. Grabbing one of those pallet cars, the ones where they are long and only have the flat bottom, I make my way into Costco, list in hand. First stop is the food area since I was going to pick up some snacks for the office. And here's where I meet the first confused customer. Here's the cast. Me? Surprise, surprise, it's me. Customers. Board game friend. Customer 1, a middle-aged Middle Eastern woman, comes strolling towards me as I peruse the produce. Excuse me, but do you know where the green mangoes are? I look up from the apples, obviously confused. Hello there. Sorry, I don't work here. I don't know if they have them anyways. Have a nice day. Then I slowly start to move my cart away as she gave me a shrug. At this point, I think that was odd, since I'm wearing a collared t-shirt with the University of Nevada logo on it. Go Wolfpack, and blue jeans, no name tag in sight. After gathering some snacks, 12 cases of baby wipes, and helping an old lady with a case of water, because I'm a nice person, I spot some of my board gaming friends. Apparently they were shopping before the gaming club that was later that night. We laugh and talk about the plans for later that night, chatting away for a while before I headed back down towards the sodas, where I was stopped by another customer. Not 1 minute after I finished chatting with friends in plain view. Customer 2 is a middle-aged white male. He walks right up to my full cart. "Hello, do you work here?" Now really confused on why someone would ask that since I was clearly chatting with my friends and loading stuff into my cart. "No, sorry, check the back corner where they bring stuff out from the back." "Oh my god, okay, thanks." This is getting super weird now since nothing on me screams Costco employee. Like, seriously, they all have name tags. Shrugging that off, I head towards the vitamin aisle because the boss wants some protein shakes and I get stopped again. Customer 3 is mid-30s Asian female. "Excuse me, do you know where blank is?" At this point, I have a mix between surprised Pikachu face and utter confusion. "I don't work here. Sorry. Good luck." I quickly leave after shoving 2 cases of protein shakes into the cart and push the cart as fast as I could into one of the lines where, funnily enough, the gamer friends were in the line next to me. "Hey guys, long time no see." We chuckle a bit since, haha, it's funny. You would never guess what happened. I got mistaken for an employee not once, not twice, but 3 times. They both laughed a bit more when one of them piped up. Board game friend says, "I think it's because you have a collared shirt on and you are pushing one of those larger carts." Like, seriously, I rarely see employees with shopping carts. But usually, you can tell who is who with the aforementioned name tag. And they would have been more than likely restocking, not unloading. After that ordeal, I decided to treat myself with a slice of their amazing pepperoni pizza for dealing with all that shenanigans. We had a good joke about it later that night at the board game club, and the guy who I saw at Costco even called me Costco Boy as a joking nickname. Though, that is most likely because he was salty I whooped their butts that night. 2 for 2 in the win category. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.